Junk Journal, July, day 17. I don't know if it's happening to you also, but these seem to be getting easier. I think it's easier to translate, that's what I mean. Because it's easier now that my brain is thinking of when I see a prompt, like aged or aged, however you want to say it, I immediately think of some biblical things, and so that just makes it so much easier. And for today, I did a combination of the word literally as well as figuratively. And let me show you what I did. So we'll get this set up for aged or aged. So the way literally, I think it's using aged papers and things like that, junk, right, old things, as well as aging it the way we do with the distress ink on the edges, just makes it look older. What I did was I went into my stash and I found this gorgeous piece of, this is probably from the 30s. Somebody gave me a couple pieces of paper from an old ledger. Look at that wonderful handwriting. I just love it. And it's in a really kind of cool ink. And so I decided to make a pocket. And the thing that most importantly I realized about aged is that I am the aged. I am aged. I'm 72. I'll be 73 in a couple months. And so I decided to make a pocket out of that old aged piece of paper and edged it to make it look even more aged. Took a picture of myself that I just took a couple weeks ago. Gosh, I actually look pretty good. And I don't say that to be proud. I say that to say some days I look at myself and think, oh, you look so old. So aged in this prompt for today is actually kind of good, right? But what does God say about aged? So here's some verses. I love this. Wisdom is with the aged and understanding in their length of days. That's Job 12:12. And I put it on one of my little tags from one of my kits. And then this is another, some really old ephemera that I've scanned in and printed in one of my old kits. I love this, Psalm 73:26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. I love how that's just referring to being aged. And then the best one of all, I have gray hair, but I have to tell you my story. At age 42, I had very blonde hair when I was a child, and then when I got into my teens and all, I had like light brown, dark blonde, light brown, and I did change the color of it and make it blonde and all that kind of stuff. But at like around 40, I started having all this gray hair come in through here, and my hair was longer in those days. And everybody would stop me and say, oh, who frosts your hair? Because it looked like I was frosting my hair. But I didn't. So my answer was always, well, God frosted my hair. But I knew I had no hope of ever having hair color through my life, because my mother went gray in her 50s. My grandmother, her mother, went gray, I think in her 50s also. So I, of course, by the time it came to me, I started going gray in my 40s. And I stopped dyeing my hair 30 some years ago. And God has just blessed me. I have very thick hair. I have wonderful hair. And I go to a barber and get my hair cut, because it's really hard to find a really good hairstylist who will cut the sides as short as I want them. And when I've gone to a stylist to get my hair cut, they use the clippers, but they do like 2 seconds where okay, and they're done. The guy that I go to, he's so awesome. He spends like 20 minutes with 3 different kind of cutters and making it, and then he just does a phenomenal job. And then I just have him trim the top, and doesn't that look great? So yeah, I'm very blessed. Okay, let's talk about gray hair. Gray hair is a crown of splendor. Yes, it is. It is attained in the way of righteousness. One of the things that I always tell any women that ask me about their color of their hair, I'm like, you know what? God doesn't make mistakes. So when you dye your hair, you're kind of saying, well, God, you made a mistake. That's not the hair color that I should have. And so I always encourage everybody, don't dye your hair. Let it be what it is. Because the cool part is your skin, your eyes, and your hair color all match. God made us perfect. Remember that? Perfect in the eye, in his eye. And he put together that color combination. And as an artist, we know we should just leave well enough alone. Some fun, pretty trim here that I got from Temu. And that is my page for day 17, aged. And I want to leave you with, when you get to be my age, you have to kind of do this every day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. So rejoice today. Be glad in it. If your hair's going gray, let it go gray. God doesn't make mistakes. See you tomorrow.